Following the disastrous performance by INEOS Team UK, our World on Water experts, Vittorio and Pietro Pinucci, at Quantum Sales Genoa, have sent us their thoughts of what is wrong with the boat, and how it can be fixed. They say that the fix is small, and they maintain that they will do it, and come out fighting to be competitive in the Prada Cup Challenger races. Now, here's Vittorio and Pietro.
INEOS flight problems, kind of a mess, this for Sir Ben Ainslie, but can be solved or not?
Actually, we can think that they are so far from the solution of this. So I think probably it's a big issue, but quite easy to solve, no? And we try to a little bit think about what could be the problem. And obviously, the first thing you think about when there is something which is not going well in the flight, you think about the foils, no? So you think that they got the wrong foils. Obviously, they have the biggest foil of them all. So you think that maybe they got the foils totally wrong. Actually, I don't think they are that wrong on the foils, no?
No, they cannot be, no. I mean, the profiles, they have been studied quite a bit, obviously, so it cannot be a huge problem of profiles. Also, the shape of the foils themselves, it's a standard one, no? They try something different from the others, but then they went for a Y-shaped foils as other competitors like Luna Rossa or American Magic, no?
Exactly. And actually, we know quite a lot about foils, sections, and type of, let's say, geometries. So it's very well known from everybody who works in the field what each change in the foil form, geometry, and so on is actually doing when you change them. So it's totally impossible for me that they got the wrong shape and now they are struggling, saying, no, we want smaller foils and with much different area. I don't think so. They thought about everything, but they got something wrong. This something is something which has to be related, let's say, to the way they thought they actually had sailed the boat, no?
What we see from the other boats that is different on INEOS, on Britannia, is that Britannia is a boat that has to fly a little bit, let's say, horizontal than the other boats, no? You cannot pitch, have a negative pitch too much, no?
They are almost always in the same position, and they are struggling to get another position, so another pitch. Each time they are a little bit more pitched forward or backwards, they are unstable on the foils. This means that probably they don't have a good equilibrium between the lift on the foils and on the rudder. They for sure choose a big foil, and probably they thought that having bigger foils and so bigger flaps, because the flaps are for the rules are in percentage of the chord of the foil, probably they could go on with less angle of attack than the others. Probably they were wrong in this, so probably they underevaluated this. They didn't have time to properly train with these foils because they changed them not many days ago, not many weeks ago, and changing the angle of attack of this kind of foils, it's not something very easy. So you have to change all the fairings, so the part which is attached to the arm itself.
It's very hard to understand if you really have more problems than the other teams if you are not in the same condition, exactly the same wind conditions, exactly the same maneuvering conditions, and so on. So once they faced their competitors, they saw they had a lot of problems compared to the others in light winds, but at any low speed, So that's why we figure out they probably need to give more flaps, let's say, to stay on the foils, and at some point this is slowing them down even more, and so they tend most probably to go back in the water. And then raising the boat, we saw there is a difference of 2-3 knots of speed. We saw the same conditions, American Magic lifting up at 17-18 knots, while they were going up at 22 knots.
Exactly. This means they have obviously when the boat is sitting on the water, you cannot control the pitch, not much at least. So probably they have not enough angle of attack in this position, and so they are struggling, probably also giving negative angle of attack to the rudder to try to have the positive lift in the forward part of the boat, and so trying to take off. This obviously adds drag, and so they are really struggling. This is more probably if you think that bigger foils means more lift. So in theory, they would perform better than the other in slower wind and during maneuvers. Actually, they are not doing that. So probably they have this kind of issue. Obviously, the angle of attack can also be controlled at the arm level. So the attachment of the arm and the axis around which the arm is rotating can be moved.
Yes, it's not that easy. I mean, it can be done for sure.
It can be done, and so they have two things that they can change to achieve this. I think they already have a quite good idea of where they need to change everything, but for sure we will see. I'm quite sure we will see the same boat with the same foils. Also, they don't have any other foil package, so we will see very small modification on the boat, and the same foils, but a boat which will be much more competitive than the others.
So in short, what happens is the other boats, they are playing with their pitch, going up and down when they want to lift themselves. They go with a bow up. Then also a couple of boats, American Magic and Team New Zealand, they also have this bow that allows more lift, when
Exactly.
the bow. But then also it's a problem when you have the bow raised at high speeds. So they need to put the bow down, but then they reduce the angle of attack of their foils. So it's everything comes together quite nicely. While INEOS has less possibility of going up and down with a bow, and also they probably have a kind of too small angle of attack, so they need to take the bow still a little bit high every time, and then when it's a matter of going at low speeds, then they need to use too much flap, and then most probably they slow down and they can't stay on the foils while the other boats can. Also, the top speed in a windy day, the second windy day, has been of INEOS. So they made the best speed of the day. So on a straight line at high speeds, the boat is not slow at all. No. The fact is, in maneuvers, low speeds is quite terrible, no?
Exactly, much more different. Also, they lose a lot of meters each time they maneuver. Either it's a jibe or attack, and they are losing much more in terms of speed and VMG when they are upwind. When they are upwind, they are slower in general, so they need more lift to pick up the boat, and so they probably have to use the arm more closed than the others, and therefore they have less upwind leeway than all the others. In fact, we saw both the arm being more horizontal in the water, the boat being higher on the water, and the boom actually being much more in the center line, on the center line, than all the other teams. While, for example, American Magic, we saw one good image of American Magic going with a very, very high negative leeway. So they had the boom actually very open.
Okay, that's the solution. So it is not going to take too much to change the situation, most probably dramatically. So we can expect INEOS to be quite fast in the beginning of the Prada Cup.
We hope so, and the problem is they for sure need to again pick up with the others, so they start a little bit from behind, but they are not as behind as everyone is saying now, I think.
They have a declaration at each round robin and then semi-final and final, so even if they miss the first round robin, then they can still catch up in the second one.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Ciao, ciao.